How you guys doing? Hope you guys have been making some money. I have some people that have emailed in some questions, so I thought I'd go right down that list. Will probably be an hour or so. It's review for a lot of you. Let's just get started here. We're looking at a crude oil chart right here. We're using the Futures Forex Beta 3 CL 11-13, which is using the lightning bars. We've gotten a couple questions about the lightning bars. Let me go right down this list here. The first question is a gentleman who's been using the lightning trading system, and he's getting some good signals, but he found many of those are happening very quickly. I need a little more information to answer that question. It's a long question you have, but you're saying that when you see this signal in a very fast move, it requires you to watch the screen all day. My question to you is, what are you watching? Are you watching stocks and futures? And if it's futures, what kind of instrument you have? And then my last question is, what's your interval that you have for a setting? Whoever asked that question, help me out a little bit. Anytime you have a signal that's really fast, my first reaction is he's probably trading something like CL on a very short time interval. My answer to that would be to increase your time interval, slow it down. I'm also reading your question about you're finding it difficult to watch your chart, your screen all day. Okay, well, the way that the nature of lightning is that it's a very active trading system. You're getting a lot of signals, as you see on this chart. There's a lot of oscillations, a lot of moves here, and I've got it set at a very fast setting on the lightning bars. Let's go through right now how you change the setting in the lightning or any type of interval. You right click anywhere in the chart and you scroll down to data series, and this second line here is the type. And if you click the drop down menu arrow right here, you're going to see a variety of all the different types of bars or candles, if you have that setting on, that you could create. Lightning bars is at the bottom, and I've got that clicked on lightning bars, and this 242 is the fastest one. It's kind of like driving a Ferrari. It's a sports car setting. It's really fast. And it pretty much requires you to watch the monitor when you're trading. I mean, I'm reading your question that you're finding it unbearable to watch a screen the entire time, and you're hoping for a platform that you can periodically look at the charts and enter a trade calmly once an audio alert comes up. Well, what I've done is develop a second type of trading system, and that's called the Thunder Trader, and that sounds a little more like what you're needing. If the person who asked that question, can you write down at the bottom in here, and I'm going to start typing right in here, type your answer here down at the bottom, and that's what we call user chat. Tell me what's your instrument that you're trading. It has to be futures if it's really fast. I can't imagine too many stocks are going to be too fast for you, but I'm going to assume it is, unless you correct me. Okay, now going back to changing your settings on these lightning bars in the data series, you can change this right here, which was 242. You can make that something like 482 or 362 is probably, I'm sorry, 3, second line is 6, and you leave that to 2. Click OK. It's recalculating. I must have a lot of days on there because it's taken a long time to calculate. I'm going to close Ninja. Let me put you on pause for just a second here while I reset. Okay, you guys hear me okay? I looked up the person who asked, and he's in Australia, so he's probably sleeping right now. During that reset, I lost the document of all the questions. So I found it, and it's, anyhow, I'll struggle through it because these are not the same notes I had. Anyhow, the question, see, we were going through the question about what he was using, and I assumed that he was using a futures forex because it was very fast, and my suggestion to him would be to slow down your interval. And then we went to talk about how you're changing the lightning, which is right-clicking on the chart. You come to this second line. I type L for lightning twice. 362 is my personal default. If you wanted to turn on your markers or not, and you can have all your trades show up. But anyhow, on this lightning bar, there's two other questions about what are the lightning bars, what do they actually do. The lightning bars are more timely in terms of the top and bottoms, which is always something we're trying to do, improve as far as the timing. It's good to have another chart next to this one. So if you're trading CL, for example, I usually have a 1 minute chart next to it. I spend most of my time looking at this chart as opposed to 1 minute, but the 1 minute gives me an overall glance or view or an overview of what's happening in the market. Another question is, what do all the different colors mean? How do you set them? Can you turn them on and off? So I'd like to go through that, how to change this and what this means. How you change what you want to show up in terms of signals is you right-click on the chart, highlight indicators, and what's highlighted is the Forex and Futures Beta 3, and you'll see in all these parameters here all the different signals that are built into this system. There's probably 6 different types of signals, or 7 I think, and signal 1's at the very top. And how you turn this on and off is signal 1 is on. You can have it true, or you type in F for false. My personal use of this is to turn off the signal 1, but that's up to you. And this particular line here where it says signal 1 alert on, that is referring to the sound. And on this line here, 5 and 6 is the sound wave files for a buy and sell signal, which is a woman's voice that says buy signal, sell signal. And if you don't want to hear that sound, you turn this to F right here for false, which is signal 1 alert on. So if you didn't want to hear that sound, then have that false. Signal 2, okay, let's go through the color of that. The coloring of a signal 1 is going to be, oh, I'm sorry, I got something else turned off. There's another place where you can control. Trying to find the green and red lines here. There's one. See this green here? That's a buy signal. I have those turned off myself. They tend to be a lot noisier, not as accurate. They're useful if you do have them on. You're just going to have to learn how to a little more common sense about how trade. Some best practices on trading, and you're going to have to know a little bit more about trading to be able to understand how to interpret those. That's a pretty bad signal right there if you tell me that that's a buy signal toward the top. but there aren't many. Here's a couple buy signals here. Now, if you want to turn off that green, it's a green and red ribbon. You go back in there and you right-click indicators and turn this off. Turn this to false. Click on OK, and you'll see those went away. That's what I like. Personally, I like it to have a very clean chart. But by doing that, we do miss some of the signals. Okay, so let's go back up here again, and signal 2 is an orange colored backstripe. So you can turn this on false if you don't want those. I keep these on. The signal 2, 3, 4. Signal 3 right there is this purple one. You see that purple over on the right? Signal 3 is a purple. Signal 4 is a cyan blue. Okay. Now to go on a little further is you can come right in here where it says OSC, and you can have these questions whether you want this signal, this false or this true, and these are combinations which you can experiment with what looks good to you on your chart. I personally have false, true, and true on these questions in OSC. And again, it tends to strip out a lot of the signals. Going back to the coloring, see this cyan blue? That's signal number 4. It tends to be areas of where the selling is exhausted, where a lot of the sellers have disappeared, or have reduced or subsided. What you're trying to do to answer your question, there's another question about how to use what's the best way to use lightning. That is a long study, more than we have time for. But what you want to do in how to use lightning the best in this example for futures is you want to be looking for something that's pretty volatile, really that's moving a lot, such as the stocks, for example. Let me pull up a couple stocks here. This is pretty volatile, 102.40 to 102.80. That's a 40-tick move in about 3 minutes. That you're trying to look for something like that. Now, when someone asked me earlier on their questionnaire a chop zone, let me show you what a chop zone looks like to me. Is this area in here where you see these wicks. You see these wicks right in here where they're going up and down. That's when the price did hit up or, above or below the actual candle. So it's stuck in this trading range, and you're not going to make any money here. You're going to lose money if you try to trade these. Once you start recognizing, or when I tend to not trade during those times. I definitely don't open a new position when it acts like this. This is a chop zone right there. So you'll lose money if you trade in any instrument or any stock when it's going sideways like that. Here's an area right here, what I'd call a chop zone. This area in here. Now, if you start trying to micro trade this for 10 ticks or 7 or something like that in here, I think you're wasting your energy, and you really need to conserve your energy for the really prime times when you want to be alert. Don't shoot all your bullets and get frustrated, and you only have so much energy and attention span to trade, so you might as well save it. And the older guys know that. The guys are more experienced, been around. The newer traders tend to try anything and everything, and that's not what we suggest. It's just not a good, profitable way of making money in the markets. So this is the chop zone. That's no good. Okay? I'd really telling you not to trade those for your own financial benefit.